I hate it. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 36 of the Showerpodcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and first of all, I remembered to look up the definition of pleasure that I mentioned 2 episodes ago, and it was pretty generic, or at least it didn't fall short of what we discussed. It was just referencing the fact that it is any activity that brings you happiness and or deliberate happiness, something along those lines. So I would say that all the activities that we listed definitely, let's say, can be fully classified as pleasures. And I will still stand by the ranking that I've defined. If you haven't seen it, go and watch episode 34. And besides that, I've also noticed that episode 10, for example, got pretty good traction. Very happy to see that. And overall, if you're here listening on this episode randomly, scroll to the other episodes if you like this one, and go and check out any other discussion that we have tackled in the past. So I'll try to be relatively quick this episode because I have to leave relatively soon. But it's not going to be too complex today. It was something that, again, it's stuff that comes to my mind on a daily basis. And today when I was out grabbing lunch, and I was surprised because when coming back, I heard people arguing, or at least there was a tone of people arguing. And I was, for a moment, surprised. And this got me thinking, because, let's say, not too long ago, or at least if I look back 2 years, let's say, hearing people discuss and hearing people arguing on the street wasn't something that surprised me. Whereas since I moved here in Switzerland, it kind of is. And I was thinking, like, how important and how much does, let's say, our surrounding, but in a, let's say, passive way, let's say, how does it affect us, and how are we, let's say, acting upon what we see around us? Are we able to, let's say, be truthful to ourselves? Are we able to still, let's say, go with our day normally, or are we heavily influenced by this? And I would say that it's, or at least in my view, it is almost impossible not to be, let's say, affected by this. And even more, your passive perception of the things that are around you become more and more acceptable, and you unfortunately start to integrate them into your own life. What I mean by that is that I really tried to think of the occasions where I saw people being stressed, angry, unpolite, or at least any activity or any kind of behavior that I felt as bad, or I could categorize as bad. And really, there isn't really I didn't have all that many events in my current memory. And of course, it is also, fair to say and biased that due to the fact that I am able to work primarily from home, I am not, let's say, exposed to these more, let's say, stressful environments, be it the morning train or the morning tram or the one coming back, or in general through the city, during the rush hours where people tend to be more stressed. I am always able to, let's say, enjoy the moments, be it somewhere nice on a hike or in the mountains or on the weekend in the city. So I never get the chance to, let's say, see the people at their worst. But this maybe is the connection that I could make to, if you are in an environment or you are in a place where you are actively seeing that there are these kind of behaviors that affect you, or at least try to look around. Don't want to, again, reference another old episode, but is there any way for you to minimize, let's say, this kind of impacts? I could think immediately of another example, and that being back when we used to live in Rome. Something that drove me nuts and got me very stressed was traffic. And even if it is true that most of the times I couldn't really, I didn't have an alternative, and in the end, maybe this is the bottom line. But if you do have any alternative activity that, even if it's technically less efficient, but let's say lets you not be in contact with these kind of scenarios and let you, let's say, avoid seeing all those things around you, I would highly encourage you not to, let's say, to go for the less efficient solution, because passively you'll feel much, much better, and you'll be able to avoid the things that, without your knowledge, affect you in a very, let's say, heavy way. I generally believe that there is this passive stress and anger that you build just from seeing other people struggle or be mad, or just, let's say, they charge you up with this negative feelings. And as much as one tries to be positive and tries to act upon, let's say, the good things, you kind of are overwhelmed by these other things. And I'd like to close on a remark that I was really speaking with a friend of mine during Christmas when I went to visit him. And we were discussing exactly this, that it is very, let's say, there is a very clear distinction when you are surrounded by people that have a positive view on the things that you are doing. And also referencing today is the reference episode, but the last episode that I told you, the moment that I'm able to, let's say, connect with people that are enthusiastic, people that I can relate to, it will be easier for me to go along with my good habits, to go along with my good intentions, and not be dragged down by these other people that are not actively, let's say, saying something bad to me or dragging me down. But by seeing that kind of example and by being constantly exposed to it, I will, let's say, unconsciously I will tend to be like that, to copycat that, and to eventually, let's say, let go and just be like that, because it's the normality. It's what those are the things that are happening around you. So yeah, be careful and understand that it is acceptable and it is absolutely fair to hate what is happening around you. But at the end of the day, try to see if you have any kind of solution or any kind of alternative to which you can, let's say, avoid being in these situations. And in the end, be mindful of your surroundings and the people that surround you, because without you knowing it, someday you might turn into them, and that may not be something that you want to happen. Having said that, this was episode 36 of the Shower Podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and see you at the next one.